Welcome back to the Columbus pregame show. Puckett, D-Mac, Nexty. We're in my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, one of the best cities in America.
Beautiful.
All right, guys, now it's time to talk about the three biggest matches that are going to be going on here in Columbus before Sunday. Starting this one off at number 3, we have Carbon, we have Heaven and Earth. We just talked about this matchup. It's the number 5 versus number 10. Community is predicting an upset, but tell me, how big is this matchup? We just talked about it, but give me some final thoughts here. What are we going to be seeing tonight?
Look, when you look at Carbon, they had such a disappointing season last year. They had such a disappointing opener, Shockwave's lowest placement. And now they're going up against a team who only placed in the top 6 once, and they're predicted as an underdog. You have to look at Carbon. They're in a reality check here. If they don't win this matchup, then I don't think Carbon is going to stay together.
Well, it's going to be a test to see who really belongs in the top 6. If Carbon loses this, maybe they don't belong in the top 6. But more importantly, we're talking about the hype, we're talking about the forum talk, and the voting. We got to see how Heaven and Earth can even handle it. It may work against them. I think a team like Carbon, they can take that energy. Oh, we're the underdogs now, let's prove them wrong. We haven't seen Heaven and Earth be able to prove anything like that, and this is going to be a test of their skill.
Two very interesting play styles, Carbon, now with a purely team-focused play style, Heaven and Earth. Never know what to predict from those guys. Cannot wait to see that. But let's move on now to number 2. Now this one, it's the rematch from the Meadowlands. Your Meadowlands winners, Triggers Down, facing off against Final Boss. Now Final Boss was up 2-0 against Triggers Down, and they let Triggers Down come back in the game. A late plasma grenade from Ogre to betrayed Victory X. Triggers Down goes on to win that one. They go on to win the event. Rematch time. What can we expect to see this time around from Final Boss, D-Mac?
I think you see a better Final Boss this event, a more practiced Final Boss this event, a team that Ogre 2 is going to show up. It's his hometown. A team with Fear itself is going to finally play like he's not scared. And Victory and Macchio just need to play the way that they did in Meadowlands. And if that falls into place, you can rely on the inconsistency of Triggers Down, pounce on it, and they're going to move on.
Now, D-Mac just said it. Triggers Down, they played very inconsistent in the Meadowlands. Got upset early on by, I believe, the hype, but then in their matchup against Instinct, they looked phenomenal. Nexy, what kind of Triggers Down are you expecting to see play against Final Boss tomorrow night?
You know, I've been listening to the rumors. I just hear that Triggers Down didn't get any land time, and I said it on the last pregame show. If you're not going to practice, I can't root for you. I expect to see the streaky Triggers Down, the one that was down 2-0 on Final Boss. Sure, they came back, but I just don't see it happening this time.
Oh, wow. So both of you guys saying Final Boss probably on this one?
I'm probably saying Final Boss.
Well, you know what? I'm just cutting you off there. We'll get to the predictions later in the show. Guys, let's move on now to the number 1. I'm so happy I have Ryan Thompson, our director, in my ear, keeping me on track here with the format. Moving on now to the number 1 matchup. It's the rematch from the 2008 National Championship. You have Instinct and you have Straight Rippin'. What can we expect?
Well, this, to me, is the most important for one reason. Whoever wins this series has the best chance of winning the tournament.
Really?
Yes,
Big
absolutely.
Statement. Big statement.
Check it out. If Straight Rippin' comes in here and dominates Instinct, which I predict them to do, or maybe that was a little too early, but who cares? If they come in here and dominate Instinct, that means we're seeing the practice Straight Rippin', the Straight Rippin' that has been dominating for so long now, the one that everyone fears. But check it out. If Instinct's able to topple Straight Rippin' and go into that finals match, maybe they found their X factor. Maybe they're going to find what's pushing them over the edge. We might be seeing a new Instinct.
I think if Straight Rippin' comes out as mentally focused as they seem to be, as a practice team, there's no team that can contest with them. And on the other side, you look at Instinct, if they keep relying on their 2 superstars in Roy and Neighbor, you can't keep relying on them to get a number 1 spot. And that's exactly what you need to be doing when you're playing Straight Rippin'. You need to be playing on your A game. And I don't think Instinct's going to be doing that down the stretch.
No.
I really don't. You need to have Lunchbox step it up. You definitely need to have Walshy step it up. Neighbor and Roy can't carry the whole load.
Well, I'm just going to drop a random stat. Earlier on the main stage, Instinct did face off against End Result, Mad Max's squad. And, well, you saw Walshy put up 18 kills. He went plus 13 in Team Slayer.
End Result.
And then in Oddball, plus 22 for Lunchbox. But they were the 2 players shining for the team against the earlier rounds.
I guess we'll have to wait till the end result.
Oh,
you like that, huh?
You
like that.
You're a clever guy.
All right.
All right, well, now let's talk a little bit about the top 4 predictions here. Give it to me.
I think when you look at the top 4, it's so narrow. The skill gap is so close. You have to put Straight Rippin' above the rest. And then 2, 3, and 4, you can just put them any way you want. Number 2, Final Boss. Yes, they do lack the skill, but they have the experience, and sometimes they lack the mental focus. That's their problem. triggers down. They have all the skill in the world, but sometimes they lack the inconsistency. They lack their consistency. And I don't see SK controlling Hysteria for so long, okay? I think Hysteria is a bit of a baby sometimes. I really do. Right.
Wow.
Number 3, now I'm going to go on to Instinct. Instinct, you can't keep riding Roy and Neighbor. Lunchbox and Walshy have to step it up. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting a second-place finish. All these teams have their flaws.
Second-place finish?
The only complete team on this circuit is Straight Rippin.
I can't argue with that, but I think you were a little harsh. I mean, to
call
out Instinct like that, they're doing their job. I mean, as Sundance told me, Roy and Neighbor are capable of beating some of the teams down on the floor by themselves. They're a great team, but that doesn't mean everybody on the team has to be great. They're getting second place, dude. They're beating some of the top teams.
I agree, but when you look at them down in second place, they always get dominated every single finals. Why do you think that is? Why? Because Roy and Neighbor can't carry the whole load the whole time. It's impossible. You have to rely on all 4 teammates. When you step into a finals, all 4 players have to be on their A game. Walshy and Lunchbox have not been on their A game during the finals. That's why they have not seen a first place finish.
Wow. All right, now, Nexy, I got to call you out, buddy. You just put Straight Rippin at number 1 by agreeing with D-Mac.
I know.
On the bracket show, you were loving on Instinct.
All right.
What's up?
So let's go back and revisit what I said. I was talking about the added pressure.
Wait.